Bonjour, comrade subscribers. See, I've gained a couple more. I'm almost back to where I was before I disastrously posted a few seconds of gameplay footage from a couple of years ago. Now it's Friday here, on the way to the office. It's a nice day, bit of rainy yesterday. Nice so far today. Yeah, I have a feeling that this is probably going to be my last trip. So it's not a bad way to end off a career, is it? So let me just concentrate here. Right, indicator on, not the wipers. What time is it? It's 10 to 8. So I've had heavy traffic the last few days. See how we go today. But yeah, so my previous line manager told me that pretty much every month he's asked, can we offshore Brett's job? So offshore, my job means basically shift it to India. So can we offshore Brett? Can we offshore Brett? So when you're hearing that every month, it doesn't really make you feel wanted, does it? Or a valued member of the team. Something's happened here. Alright. Yeah, so I don't know if we're going to get made redundant this year or next year, who knows? But just, you know, it doesn't. You wake up every day, it's like, oh, is today the day I'm going to get the phone call? You know, you can't really work effectively like that, can you? Anyway, so a bit of a late night last night trying to solve an issue. So we're over here to do, we're migrating one of the networks, one of the mobile networks from hazard lights on so everyone knows I'm stopping. Okay. So yeah, we're migrating one of the mobile networks here from Alcatel-Lucent, whom we bought a few years ago, to Nokia equipment. And one of the issues before we can do the migration, which is supposed to be on the 20th, which is why I got extended a week. So one of the issues is circuit switch data calls. So if you don't know what a circuit switch data call is, basically think of the olden days when you got your modem. You got your modem connected to your phone line, and you dial up, and you got your internet, or you dial up to a BBS, and then you dial up to the internet. That's a circuit switch data call. Basically, in the olden days when you made a phone call, you were allocated a dedicated circuit. So as long as the phone line quality is good, then you know you've got no issues. You've got a good voice connection. But you notice these days with you know, conference Teams meetings and things like that, it's all packet, and the voice drops in and out because you're using packet network. Anyway. So 2G GSM circuit switch basically, and then along came GPRS, which is packet switch network. So in 2G you could either have a voice call or you could have a packet call, or you know, packet data to browse the web as it was on your little Nokia phone. So probably more like a WAP browser. Then along came 3G. So 3G was circuit switch and packet switch, but you could have both at the same time. So you could be on the phone, voice call, and then look something up on the internet. So you could have both at the same time. Whereas GSM, you had to stop, you had to drop the voice call, and then do your packet. And then of course along came 4G, and 4G was packet switch only. The problem with 4G is that they forgot all about voice. So the workaround for that was circuit switch fallback. So if you had to make a voice call, you would drop back to the 3G network, make a voice call, and then you would pop back up to 4G. And then finally they implemented VoLTE, which is voice over LTE. So you finally had your packet switch voice calls, and then of course 5G is obviously packet switch. That's no idea about that. Anyway, so I work on the circuit switch side. So for circuit switch data, okay, well, basic of the network is we've got an MSS, which is a mobile switching center server, MSC server, that handles the control plane. So your digit analysis and things like that, allocating a circuit. And then you've got your media gateway, or multimedia gateway, MGW, that was introduced as part of 3G, which handles your user plane. So that's the actual content, the actual speech, things like that, transcoding, blah blah blah. Looks like the traffic's okay today. Yeah, so the problem here is that on the old Alcatel equipment, they would establish a circuit switch data call, and it would be immediate. So you've got your hyper terminal or whatever, and you've got your phones connected up using Nokia PC Suite, and you do your AT DT and put your number in, and the other phone would ring, and you do your ATA to answer, and then immediately you could start talking to each other like a BBS. Problem is, when we moved to the Nokia equipment, there would be a 20-second delay after you answered, before you could do anything, and that's obviously a bit of an issue. All right, so I don't know if these people are going to merge or not. Yeah, that guy's merging. Come across. No wuckers, mate. So anyway, we're on working with R&D last night. It turns out, looks like that the 20 seconds is because it's basically training. So you remember in the olden days when you do modem dial-up, you had all the tones. Basically, as both ends try to establish the highest speed that the phone line could handle. Well, it looks like that's what was going on here, because we were using what's called 3.1 kilohertz audio. So there's basically two ways, because GSM's a digital network. I need to get across here. Traffic's actually flowing quite good today. So you could basically have, if you've got an ISDN line, that's all digital, then you've got basically UDI, unrestricted digital interface. And you can go full 64 kilobits per second. Isn't that an incredible speed? 64 kilobits per second. But if you've got some analog in the way, like the old old phone network, then you'd have to use tones, basically, like the old modem. You'd use tones over the because the phone line was designed for speech. So basically 3.1 kilohertz. I think that's the bandwidth we've got. I think so. That's basically the tones. Okay, now I need to go left here, but I can't. No U-turn. So what I have to do is I need to look over my shoulder. No one's going to go up here. I go left up here. To do a little U at the little tiny roundabout like that guy is. I need to make sure people can go past me. Alright, so here. Alright, I can go here, around my little roundabout. Go in, and then I'll stop here, let these cars go. So what was I saying? Yeah, so we were using 3.1 kilohertz audio. So that meant, even though we've got two mobile phones, digital path the whole way, they were still kind of training before establishing the connection. So that, we think, is what the 20 seconds was being caused by. Now this is the on-ramp. I'm leaving. Person in the fancy Porsche can go. So when we, R&D guy said last night, try try setting the call up as UDI, so it was 80 plus CBT equals 71 or something. Anyway, so Benedict tried that last night and bang, straight away it connected. So yeah, looks like that was the issue. So we think maybe on the Alcatel there was, because it's different architecture, that maybe it was being handled. You know, we didn't have this 20 seconds of training at the start. But that's, you know, that's the testing, which is basically mobile to mobile. The real scenario is, I think it's like a server calling a mobile, like for you know, retrieving like electricity data or something like that remotely. So I don't know what we'll be able to do, because if they're not using an ISDN line, which is all digital, then they're going to have to use 3.1 kilohertz audio. They can't use UDI. So let's see. Hopefully that's so. Poor old Benedict. It's a very late night. Alright. Here we go. So let's see how we go today. Let's see if I've got any car parks left. I can park down there. I can park here. I think I can park here. Well, what I can do is I can do a U-E. Do a U-E, mate. And park facing the other way. Yeah, so that's one issue, and another issue is bloody SIGTRAN and SCTP and multi-homing. It's not working the way it should be. We've got a primary and secondary source address and destination address, so it's all multi-homed. But for some reason, our secondary address isn't being sent in the NetAC and through UA, so that one's a bit of a conundrum. Anyway, so that was actually an easy drive. So it's 8 o'clock, so what, 15 minutes. Last 2 days there's been heavy traffic going into Papeete, but I don't care because I'm in Tahiti. Okay, I hope everyone has a good day. Bye for now.